Being one of his strengths, he's taken the constructive criticism and he's tried to work with it. So this will be interesting. He'll be nervous. He's had an issue with nerves early in his career, but big match for him, as you say. If he could get an opening win in the Australian Summer of Tennis, it will stand him in very good stead. Of course, he's playing a guy that made the quarterfinals of the Australian Open last year and is a tough competitor. Kei Nishikori, quick around the court, isn't over-endowed himself with power, but he's a great counter-puncher. He won't miss too many balls over a long match, and you really have to know how to beat a guy like this. He will not hand you anything.
High quality point for the second point of the match.
Tell you, here at courtside, we're sitting behind Kei Nishikori's end here, watching this ball. It's travelling at a rate of knots. Terrific hitting early in the match. They've got their eye in already.
Oof. That's a big second serve.
15-13.
Well, another improved part of the Matosevic game is the serve. The technique over the last 2 years has changed quite a lot. If you went back in some old video and had a look at it, you could see how much it's improved.
Gee, it's good hitting already, isn't it? There's not going to be too many unforced errors. Here's the service action of Marinko. Todd?
Well, it's improved a lot. You could see the racket head. If you take a look where it is and the angle that's on, it used to be in a position that actually came in and over the top of his head. He could see his racket head at the top of his backswing, which is not a very good thing to see. So he's got the angles all set up right to be able to improve the accuracy of the serve. He really struggled to hit points on the court, and that's what Josh has really been trying to work on, is to hit marks better.
Well, it's really been, if he's had a weakness, I think relatively the serve has been it. And
particularly the second ball, because if you can't direct it into a position, you're then always on the defence from the return. In the top of the men's game, you hit too many into the sort of centre of the service box.
Yeah, just not a natural motion, really. He's had to man-make it, really, so to speak, and starting to get a few dividends now.
Break point, first game. And that's the accuracy we're talking about.
Now, keep in mind, he's an athlete who's probably closer to 6'5" than 6'4". He's a big man, and he moves like a much smaller athlete. Like, he's a good mover for a man of that size, and it's a pity that if he doesn't take advantage of this height benefit he has with the trajectory coming down into the court, and the improved service results now are really standing him in good stead. I mean, no Pete Sampras, obviously, but if he could just improve it another 5% or so, it'll go a long way to helping his ranking.
You talked about age, Fitzy, and he's taken a while to get going. In terms of experience as a professional tennis player, I still see his age at around about 21, 22, not his actual real age of 27.
Oh, he's a late developer. Yeah.
Late for service. Game.
Oh, good effort, down break point, but Matosevic holds for 1-love first set.
First.
How many tissues?
Well, perfect analogy, really. He talked about the serve there, Leighton. If he can improve that slightly, that will benefit him. But in terms of ball striking, that's not his issue. He is a good hitter of the ball. And from both wings, I think particularly the backhand, but the forehand's improved as well, and they're solid on both sides. So that was a good opening statement. Nishikori threw everything he had at him in that first game, and Marinko was able to withstand it. Oh, that's good stuff. Intuitive first volley.
Well, three years ago, he couldn't hit a volley. He hit the throat of the racket the whole time, and this is a big improvement too. A lot of effort went into that part of the game for the period that he did some work with Mark Woodford. And Mark really focused on trying to get him to play points such as this. So it's all, quite a few people have had a lot to do with the development. That's the weaker shot. That's where more of the errors will come from. Jarkko Nieminen had a win on the outside court. He's always comes to Australia, has a great start in this season. Loves coming down under. Great win last year, winning in Sydney.
Beautiful. Well, it always brings a smile to my face when a player can sense when it's time to take a risk. So he gets a reasonably short ball, steps up close to the baseline, and had an open court there. So pulls the trigger straight away. And it's all about not risking too much when you don't need to. But when you get the opportunity, have a go.
Out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee, what a shot it was, though. It's been called out.
I think Nishikori blocked the lineswoman on that call. Good overall.
30.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, that was an incredible angle he created there from a difficult position in the court. It was a talented shot, just missing the sideline. Big point, too. Back to 30 all.
Oh.
Well, the same aggressive shot that we saw from his other wing 2 points ago. When the ball is dropped short, he quickly senses it's time to take the risk because he can get a great benefit from taking the risk at that part of the court. So gets the reward and brings up a break point.
Light second service.
Oh, he'll be disappointed there. That was a bad miss, really, by his standards. You know, you won't see him miss too many from that wing. He knows it.
Advantage, Nishikori. Kei Nishikori.
So both players survive a break point in their opening service games.
1 game.
And it's 1-all.
So there's Tony Roach in the middle of the picture at the back.
Well, there's been a bit of a change in the structure of the Davis Cup team coming into the new season. Josh Eagle's going to be working on the road for 30 weeks as the Davis Cup coach, and Tony Roach is going to sit in there and mentor but not do as much travelling as what he's done in the past. He's still wanting to be involved, but he's been doing a lot of travel for a lot of years, so he's passed that baton over to Josh to take that on. Oh.
Josh Eagle, of course, married to
Love 15.
Barbara Shett, who was a top 10 player herself, and they spent a bit of time in Austria during the year. And it's so good to see him fully committed to this Davis Cup team now. So he'll be like a direct conduit, I guess, Todd, to Pat Rafter.
Exactly, yeah. He's the eyes and ears out on the tour the whole time.
So you can, sorry, Todd, you can see how the serve is a big influence and is so important for Marinko. He's competitive here, absolutely, from the back of the court, but you need that free point occasionally to continually hold your serve. And if he can start getting 1 or 2 points a game where the serve directly influences the outcome of the point, then he can stay on the court with most players in the world. Good aggressive forehand there from Nishikori when the time was right.
Yeah, you've got to try to keep Nishikori out of that backhand corner. He likes to run round and use that forehand as a weapon. You've got to try to catch him quickly off into the forehand corner so that you can get to the backhand a little more. He uses that forehand a lot as his key weapon. Tell you what, this is great ball striking.
Well, for the first match of the year, it looks like they've hit the ground running, these two players. They're in good shape and already seeing the ball very early.
That's the thing, we talk about fitness and shape. A lot of players come to Australia, they're in two different things. They're never in between. They've either done not enough work in the pre-season, or they come here and they're really raring to go. They've had a great training block. Good serving, and I think that the tour has finally got it right, where it's giving everybody an opportunity to
40-30.
to have a break and actually work their way into the new year fresh, because a lot of players have such a long year, they actually end up getting 4 to 5 weeks off. So by the time they take 2 weeks just to get away, one to get back going, they've only got like 2 weeks of really hard work to get back up to speed, and that's not enough. You really need an 8-week block at the end of the year to have a break, work hard, and then taper off.
Catches the outside, I think. It's a tough gig, professional tennis. You know, you're right that you don't get the opportunity to have a long. There it is, outside edge of the line. We're pretty much sitting on that line in this commentary box. So no big training blocks available really throughout the year, and there's not much of an off season. Very, very small. So a bit different to some of the other sports. So by improving the volleys over the last couple of years, that brings that type of point, that tactic into play.
Yeah, he's not scared to come forward anymore.
No, so that gives you another dimension.
Yeah, great defensive chip.
Was.
Another tough game, though. Matosevic holds on serve 2-1 first set.
Matosevic is 2 games to 1.
Can I have some more white towels?
Sit quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Time.
I'm sweating like, can I get more white towels? I'm sweating like crazy.
Sit quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The players are ready. Thank you. Take any seat for now.
Take your seats at home too. The Brisbane International first round men's singles action between Marinko Matosevic. Kei Nishikori serving, trailing 1-2.
Love 15.
You know, he's instinctively an interesting player, isn't he, Marinko? In the last 2 points, the last one of the last game and the first one of this game, when the opponent came in, he played the right shot. So on the game point before, he chipped a ball across court to make it awkward. And this time he gets a chance to top the ball, but not with too much power, just to make it dip. And it created the error. So that's instinctive. You don't make those decisions in split seconds.
Well, there is Kei Nishikori's team racing a racket back out to the stringer, so he obviously hasn't got the tensions right. First match of the year. You can practice as much as you like, but you're not quite sure until you get out on the court. The man that the stadium's named after, Pat Rafter, he hides up the back here. He never comes near the court side. He sits at the front of his corporate box that he owns, I think.
Yeah, it's very annoying. He looks a lot younger than his 40 years too, Patrick.
Turned 40 just a few days ago. Had a big party in Sydney.
Yeah.
Surprise party.
I think this would be very heartening for Pat to see the way Marinko's started here. You know,
well, it's quite ironic in a way, because it was on this particular court that he handed out some serious discipline in Davis Cup in April of this year, still 2012.
And discipline that was needed.
Yeah, and we'll give you the reasoning and what happened after this point. Yeah, Marinko just struggled handling a bit of the pressure that comes with Davis Cup, and his behaviour wasn't up to the expectations of Pat and all the rest of the team. And Pat decided that he needed to be disciplined and put him out of the team and said, go away and prove to me that you deserve to be back. And he took that on the chin.
Well, he took it on the chin to his credit.
To his credit, went away and absorbed the discipline and went on through the year to make it into the top 50. And credit to him for being able to do that.
Yes.
Tell you what, right now Marinko has Kei Nishikori's attention. He's trying to force the issue.
We got the attention of the whole tour this last season, Fitzy. He was voted the most improved player on tour. Took his ranking from outside of 200 into 49 and was voted by his peers as the most impressive in that department. So that says something.
Oh, gee. A little bit of luck for Marinko there. It was a miss hit off the throat, but it drops in. And just made that a tad awkward for Nishikori, forced him to move forward, and he misses it. So a chance here for Matosevic.
And he gets the break. A couple of unforced errors off the forehand from Nishikori. And it's 3-1 to Matosevic.
Matosevic leads 3-1.
This is he's a bit quirky at times. And when he struggles out on court, there can be some of the distractions. He needs more white towels. How many white towels were there? But there was 3 there.
No, there was a stack of towels there.
He was wanting more.
Well, it can be a crutch, you know. And that's okay if you can make it work to your advantage. You know, it's probably looking for something to get rid of some of the nerves. And you know what? He did stand up, and as he walked away, he said, I'm sweating like crazy. But maybe it's a combination of needing the crutch to a degree.
Yeah,
but also his nerves can kick in, and you sweat a lot if you get nervous.
But I think it's the next level for him is to get rid of the crutch. He's got to do that.
When you're 6'4.5", it's a big crutch.
15.
He needs to concentrate here, though, doesn't he, and consolidate the break. This would be a terrific start if he can take advantage of the early break and just hold serve again. Yes, that's what you like to see. Perfect play. You don't need to use the forehand to always come in. When the time's right, you get the short return off a good serve, attack with the backhand. He's got the capability to do that. It's a safe shot. So he takes it early and forces the issue. Good stuff. Not by much. I think it was the right shot. Okay.
30-40.
Looks like he's a little tight here. Just trying to stretch those shoulders and loosen up the forehand wing. 2 errors from that side.
Good serving.
Yeah.
That's the improved accuracy off the first serve.
Yes.
And speed too. Hasn't been many faster than that so far this week here in Brisbane.
And I think it's serving well at the right times too, the sign of improvement. You know, on the big moments, if you can use your serve well.
Advantage. Nishikori.
Yeah, he's not the only one sweating out there, Marinko. Kei Nishikori also going to the towel. There, a bit of tension in this first round match in the early stages.
All right. Trading breaks, but it is Marinko Matosevic still ahead 3-2 in the first.
Matosevic leads 3 games to 2. Time.
Very evenly matched contest here in the opening round of the Brisbane International. Marinko Matosevic got a break, 3-1, unable to hold it. Nishikori breaking straight back. Courtside, we've got Davis Cup coach and a guide for this year for Marinko, and Josh Eagle. Josh, what are your thoughts so far in these first 5 games?
Oh, look, I think the ball striking's been fantastic from both guys. Just a few loose errors there from Marinko in that last game. But, look, first tournament of the year, never easy for any player coming out here. But, look, I think just Marinko's done a lot of work in the off-season. He's ready to go. His ball striking's good. It's just more about belief of beating a top 20 player.
You know a lot about his body language and how he starts matches. How do you feel that's been today?
Good. I think he's feeling really good about himself, finishing the year top 50. And I think he's probably been a little bit nervous at the start of previous seasons. So far, I think he's pretty positive about things, and he's just got to continue to remain positive throughout this course of the match and give himself a real chance.
Alrighty, thanks, Josh. We'll get back to you in a little while.
So it's the first time we've seen a change of tactic, and a good one. He picked the right time to do it, Nishikori here. Marinko pretty deep in the court. He was off balance, and if you stand inside the baseline, you've got a lot. You take time away from the opponent. So that ball was back so quickly because he took it so early.
Ripping backhand through the line from Nishikori. Levels at 3-all.
3 games all.
Big night still to come.
Oh, beautiful shot. Oh, he's got to start again now, Marinko. He got ahead early and couldn't consolidate, so he knows he's in for a battle. But, he chooses the right shot most of the time, I think. I mean, the court was open there. A lot of the winners these days hit down the line. That's because it's a riskier shot, and the opponent is usually covering the more percentage shot across court more so.
Just looking at tonight's matchups, it's a big night for Aussies again.
30 love.
You got the experience of a Grand Slam champion, Sam Stosur, coming out, but big night for young Ben Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
In wildcard here, won the Australian Open playoff just a couple of weeks ago. And it's really his first foray into the tour level tennis. So keen to see how he plays, handles the situation.
Well, it'd be handy to have an easy game here for Marinko. He would have been shrugging off a little bit of disappointment there, losing the early advantage. So I'll have new balls too on Nishikori's serve after this game.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. A love game, confident game. Matosevic leads 4-3.
New balls, please. Matosevic leads 4 games to 3.
Excuse me? Can I get some more white towels? Thank you so much. Thanks.
Time.
Kei Nishikori serving, trailing 3-4. New balls.
Lovely team.
Couple of heavyweights there of Australian tennis.
Two former world number ones. Leighton, he's a good mentor, Leighton. He really gets out and supports everybody as much as he can. He practices with all the young kids, really draws them in.
Four Grand Slam singles titles there between the two of them. And 4 other finals.
15.
So they both won 2 Grand Slams. Leighton, Wimbledon and the US Open. He was also a finalist at the US Open another time and a finalist at the Australian Open in 2005. And of course, Pat Rafter, back-to-back US Open champions in 97 and 98. And 2 Wimbledon runner-ups. 2 great players.
Like this for service.
He's very astute about players out on court too. I know he rates Kei Nishikori quite highly. You have quite a lot of information that he would have passed on to Marinko.
When he misses the forehand, Marinko, it looks like he tends to drag it into the net more often. Is that fair?
Well, often, yes, he does. But watch the feet here, because he plants too early and is often not in the right position. You see there the foot planted and then he hit and then he moved. He didn't make an adjusting step to get into better position. He's often, he could be a little lighter just getting there. Oh.
Well, it was the right thing to do, absolutely. Just missed the execution. Don't let that keep you from trying that again, though, Marinko. Terrific time to sneak in. He sees there when Nishikori's shaping to chip the ball. He knows he's going to float it back, and he seizes the opportunity, just overplays it.
It's a difficult return to hit the one he just did. Marinko mishit that particular ball, but that's the area that you can get a quick error off Nishikori, because he likes to land on the serve and fall to his left and start to dictate the point through the forehand. If you can hit the off one straight into that forehand corner of him, you get the upper hand in the rally.
Game Nishikori.
Nishikori holds for 4 games all.
4 games all.
And out in the outside courts, striking a few balls, the Olympic and current US Open champion Andy Murray. Had a little chat to him earlier, Fitzy, asked him what he'd been doing over the last couple of weeks, and he said he had a couple of weeks holiday, then was in Miami. He goes there each year for a training period, works pretty hard, and he nice and relaxed, in fact.
That's the way to put a forehand away. Yeah, for all those doubting Thomases out there, Todd, a lot of people didn't think Murray was going to win a major, and
I don't think he would have if he hadn't have hired Ivan Lendl.
Well,
that's been a huge difference to the mentality out on court.
You may well be right, but you know, if he was good enough to win 1, he's now good enough to win 3 or 4.
Yeah,
maybe more.
I think there's no doubt that he believes that now too.
Good deep serve for Matosevic there. The serve, it's not the smoothest looking action, but it's looking very effective so far today.
40 love.
Perfect
Kei
consecutive
Nishikori.
love games for Matosevic. It's on serve, but he leads 5-4 in the first.
Matosevic leads 5 games to 4. Time.
Nishikori serving to stay in the first set. Josh Eagle sitting courtside, perfect start to build a bit of pressure. How is Marinko in these types of situations?
Oh, look, I like his chances when he's returning. I think this is the best part of his game, absolutely. He's one of the best returners in the business, and his stats will back that up. I think, you know, at this stage of the game, when he hasn't played a lot of matches, again, it comes down to self-belief, winning these big points and thinking that he can actually beat a top 20 player. Put himself in a great position this set, winning the last 2 service games comfortably. And
do you tell him at this point to go out and be more aggressive, or?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to have a bit of a free swing at this stage of the set. Up 5-4 and 15 all, especially if he gets a second serve. Look to attack.
Second service. Out. 30-15. Out. 40-15.
Well, not quite what you'd be hoping for here. Fitz a couple of unforced errors, and
I just wonder if he's, you know, it is good to be aggressive. I just wonder if he's just pressed a little bit. He's
I
caught
don't
a
know,
couple on the frame, hasn't
these
he?
weren't, though, going for it. That's the thing in my mind. They were actually just rhythm balls.
Well, he was there. Gee, good foot speed for a big man. He was there and just didn't quite execute again at the right moment.
So, Josh, after the first point, not quite what we were hoping he would deliver.
No, absolutely. And the big difference is when he's he's accumulated a lot of matches over periods of times. That's when he's very good. But again, probably thought about the situation in the match a little too much instead of sticking to his patterns and just refusing to miss. Just in this late stage of the first set, he's just sort of making a few too many unforced errors for my liking, particularly off that forehand side.
Love 15.
Well, Josh, his serve has been very good, though. Like, it's a funny-looking serve, isn't it? But the result looks like it's working for him. And he needs to serve well here now, though, because he's just lost it slightly on the last 3 or 4 points. But the serve needs to help him out here, doesn't it? Yeah, look, it'd be nice to sort of get 1 or 2 free points in this service game. He's got pretty good rhythm at the moment. His percentage will be up there. And his second serve's quite bouncy, which makes it hard to attack at times. So far, so good on serve.
Well,
Love 30.
Well,
yeah, we put the mozza on him, didn't we?
Well, a little bit, but it's an interesting time of a match, isn't it? Because it's a psychological thing. You're actually close to winning, and then all of a sudden, your mentality changes. So trouble, love 30. First time he's been in trouble since the opening service game.
Yeah, Nishikori does the right thing. He sensed the disappearance of a bit of that rhythm on serve. He was looking for a shorter second ball, and he really attacked, drew the error. So, smart player.
3 break points. Yep. Good game from Nishikori. He jumps over the second serves, and he will serve for the set when we return. He leads 6-5.
Nishikori leads 6 games to 5. Time.
Put a trainer after this set. My arm.
Can we please have the trainer for the next break for Nishikori for his arm?
Been a huge momentum swing. 8 straight points now to Nishikori, and during that changeover, asked the umpire for the trainer about his arm. So Marinko has to do everything he can to keep the ball in play here through this period. Great shot. Here's what happened in that changeover.
15 all.
So then we heard Eva Azdaraki, the central umpire there, ask for the trainer as he walked away and referred to the arm again. So he's been shaking his arm a little bit. I don't know whether it's just tension. He just must feel tight. Maybe he's going to get someone to come out and loosen it up a little bit. Good tennis from Marinko. So he's not out of this set yet.
That'll set up on that good return. The off one here, there, that gets Nishikori off balance and slightly defensive, and then he can take aim.
Well, you mentioned that earlier. If you can get that first return deep into the forehand corner, he'll be off balance a little more because he's looking to back away, as you say. So it's just being able to control the ball into that corner that's the hard thing. But he's got a chance here.
Oh, he's challenged. Let's hope he's got it right. I'm not convinced about it.
He played a good point, Marinko.
And
He's not sure either, is he?
That's a disaster because he was still well and truly in the point. We're waiting for Hawkeye. Drama building. It's a big moment. It's a huge point.
It is, and you'd think that if no one's called it, if the linesman hasn't, the chair umpire hasn't overruled.
Obviously, we're having a bit of trouble getting it. If not, I think the rule is that if they can't find it, they'll then have to replay the point.
It's a pretty big moment here. You know, it's either 15-40 or 30-all after this this Hawkeye decision, and they need to. He needs to keep his concentration.
Oh, wow.
Gee whiz. I tell you, he wasn't far out, was he? Can't believe it. So it is 30-all now.
Well, if you believe the accuracy, it's 2 millimetres out.
You mean it touched the line by 2 millimetres?
Oh, sorry, but yeah, either way. 30-all. Yep. Good point.
Yeah, he understands the margin for error he needs to use, doesn't he, Nishikori? He kept that ball high over the net, refusing to make an error.
Set point. And after a long battle, 53 minutes, it's Kei Nishikori who takes the opening set, 7-5.
Yeah, we'll second that. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nishikori is now receiving a national challenge.
Another towel, please. Help.
2 minutes remaining.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I get a
So what are we doing about it? Change minutes? Yep, sure. Oh, yeah, complete. I'll wait for change minutes.
Time.
Well, we hope it's an opportunity for Marinko. You don't want to see your opponent injured, of course, but Nishikori's had a few injuries throughout his career. He was out for almost 12 months after he burst onto the scene and won Delray Beach. And he did very well to just piece by piece get his career back on track. And these last 12 months have obviously been exceptionally good.
Second set.
Josh,
Matosevic.
courtside, did you sense anything there with Nishikori's arm?
Not really. I think you know, he's always been a bit injury prone over the years. All the players know that. That's the talk in the locker room. Importantly, that Marinko just gets back on track here. He lost his way a little bit in that last 10 minutes. I don't think he needs necessarily to change anything dramatically. His ball striking's good. The ball striking courtside here from both players, it's good. They're hitting it hard. I think just stick to his game plan and just refuse to miss. Just too many loose errors at that back end of the first set from my point of view.
And that's a very difficult shot to pull the trigger on straight away. I mean, he didn't miss it by much, Marinko, but not the highest percentage shot to try. It was a pretty decent return, and to be deep in the court and go over the high part of the net's a tough one. Change direction of the ball too. So they're the small loose things, I think, if he can just contain them slightly. Refuse to miss, as Josh says. He's like a human ball machine, isn't he, Nishikori?
He's a terrific mover. He's always in and behind the ball. He very rarely looks as if he's struggling to cover ground. He's deceptive in that way.
Beautifully balanced. You know, the great movers usually are, aren't they? They're into position with their first step being very quick, and they're into position early. Don't get caught off balance too often. Who gets a bit of luck, Marinko. And you need some of that. I mean, Nishikori changes the pace here, but he drops it too short. And it gives Matosevic the opportunity to attack. And luckily for him, it just cleared the net in the end. Well, there's the bounce, I think, that Josh was talking about earlier on the second serve. He's a tall man, long arms, and this creates bounce. And Nishikori gets caught here. It gets out of his hitting zone slightly. He mishits it, and from there the point's probably over. Against a good player it is. If you drop it short there, they'll put it away. I like the way, you know, good players understand when to stand up on the baseline and when to defend from a little bit behind. And he was in the Nishikori there, knew he was going to get a shorter ball, so he stands right up on the baseline, and from there you can attack. You can take a bit more risk because your reward is going to be it's going to be higher. So smart play.
Advantage, Matosevic.
Looks to me like Nishikori's trying to mix the speed up a bit here. I don't know whether he needs to change his game plan at all, but he's already up a set. But I think a sign of respect for the hitting power of Matosevic, just trying to vary it.
Left for service.
And he's made a couple of mistakes when he's done that. He hit that one wide, and he's dropped a couple short in this game, which has hurt him a little bit.
Use. Advantage, Nishikori.
Chance for an early break. Nishikori just sort of starting to read the pattern of Matosevic's plays. He's starting to pick the serve a little better, particularly jumping over that second serve. Needs a good one here. Yeah.
Game Nishikori.
And Nishikori is on top. He's got the break. There was plenty of good tennis throughout the first set, Fitzy. It was so evenly balanced up until 5-all, and then there was a real momentum change to Nishikori.
Yeah, I think the difference really in the end was, I mean, they went head-to-head for, you know, the first 10 games, didn't they, at 5-all, and then, but the difference was that he just made a few less errors when it really counted, and I think it was either a bit of concentration or, you know, Marinko's standard just dropped off slightly at the end, as it has done here in the first game too. He's, as Josh said, he needs to refuse to miss, not give away free points. They're hard enough to win points. You know, don't lose the concentration and miss hit like that to give away a free one. He's solid as a rock, is Nishikori, but he's not unbeatable for Marinko here. But he needs to maintain a high level with good concentration for the rest of this match. So that's like gold. If you're Kei Nishikori there, and you know the last 3 points, you get freebies. It's just like a pressure valve being released. You know, the more the opposition keeps the ball in and keeps the pressure on, the tighter your throat starts to constrict. You know, but if you get free points like that, well, another bit of luck. All about building pressure on the opponent. No freebies, please.
$30-15.
good motion. Not the tallest player on the tour as Kei Nishikori, but pretty darn solid service motion.
Oh, he made it. I thought he just caught it a little late.
30 all.
Not a bad play, this one. If he can see that the opponent's going to be chipping off either that forehand or the backhand. I was surprised to see the chip forehand there, but if you can come forward, some pretty cheap points to be won. You've got to have the conviction, though, to take it on.
Thirty, 40.
Well, good chance to get that break straight back. Hugely important.
Let's for service. Use.
This is just 3 points. Not really building the pressure during the rally.
Advantage Nishikori. Use.
Bit of a must-win game here, isn't it, for Marinko? You don't want to run of 4 games to go against you.
Matosevic challenged the call on the left center service line. The ball was called in.
And I think this is a long shot, this one. Marinko walking to the other side, which probably means he knows it's in. And Nishikori was very, gee, that was a long way in. So
that's a shocker.
A bit of a brain fade there for Marinko, but it was it's out of frustration, really, because
has 2 challenges remaining.
You know, he's played so well, but just got pipped at the post in the first set and has gone off his game a little bit here. His standard has slightly dropped, maybe 10% or so.
Use.
It's really quite interesting because that run of points at the end of the second set all came from unforced errors when he actually wasn't trying to be offensive or aggressive in the point. Every time he's actually aggressive, he's making good shots and drawing the error from Nishikori. It's when he's just trying to play a rally ball and stay within the point that he's missing. So there's a certain mentality for him that he has to learn to be able to change at key moments of matches.
Keep the racket head speed up.
Yep.
Let's for service.
Yeah, you don't want to decelerate, do you? And sometimes that comes with nerves too. So Nishikori's changing where he's standing here for this first serve. Tried to create more angle wide to that first court. Yeah, too many errors now.
Advantage, Nishikori.
And it's got a bit to do with the body language too, hasn't it? This looks like he's dropping his head a little bit here, Marinko. Nothing wrong with that shot.
Well, that was a commitment to actually taking the return on. You could see the footwork better underneath. He got his body weight into the court. The previous serve, if you watch here, he's inside the baseline, down through the ball, very aggressive off the return. The previous one where he made an unforced error off the return was only 144 kilometres per hour, but he was just trying to push it back into court. So he's got to work out what style he needs to play every single point here.
Advantage, Matosevic.
So maybe there was a broken string there. I didn't see, Todd, but he mishit that ball. Sometimes that can create a broken string. So not happy with the previous frame anyway, Kei Nishikori. So he's changed it. New restring on at a big moment.
He's caught it up the top. If it did break, it's broken at the grommet.
Use.
Just not winning the key points throughout the match here at the moment. Matosevic.
Well, he gets a free one.
Nishikori challenging the call on the right.
You see, I don't quite agree with that. I don't know how you can play the shot, hit it into the net, and then challenge.
I agree.
This is complete. Look, he's played this, committed to it.
Yeah, I think
misses it, and if it had gone over, he's going to accept that he had played it.
Yeah, well, the ball was in, but you're dead right. The umpire there made a mistake. You should not be able to challenge that because you've had your cake and you're trying to eat it too.
Yeah.
2 challenges remaining.
Eva is a very experienced official. Oh, that's a great
shot. You know, I don't have any issue with Nishikori asking for it because it happens in a split second.
It's a judgment.
But yeah, it is a judgment call, and the umpire has to be quick enough to realise that he's actually hit the ball in a split second. He had his chance to make the ball. He hits it in the tape, and then he calls. So I just think it's the umpire's call to make sure that the player doesn't have his cake, and then gets a second bite.
Long game, 10 minutes.
Advantage, Nishikori.
Yeah, well, I want to re-emphasise it. He really wants to win this one because he's been given a few chances here by Nishikori to get back even in this early part of the second set.
Great touch.
Kei Nishikori.
And Nishikori survives the break points to consolidate for 2-love.
Nishikori leads 2 games to love.
Love's coming in. Hasn't missed it since its inception, the Brisbane International.
I love watching him back, Tatis. He's a real entertainer, a real talent on a tennis court. And he's a father now.
Love 15.
Yes, he is indeed. Changes his perspective a little.
Yeah, a few bills to pay.
Oh.
What do you think of his concentration here, Marinko? He's dropped off, hasn't he? Surely.
I think he has. I think he's somewhat frustrated because Nishikori is such a, like you called him earlier, he's a ball machine. You've got to play really good points to beat him. I think he's got to be aware of where he's getting burnt at the moment. And over the last 2 service games that he's dropped, he's made his errors when Nishikori's hammered the return straight back through the centre of the court, and then the footwork's not good enough. And we talked about that. That's been a big improvement, but you can see that that area right there is something that's being exposed by Nishikori.
Wait, please.
Evidence in that point, just trying to see if you could overpower Nishikori, but you can't. He absorbs that well.
Well, I think at the moment the summation here is that they play a very similar game. You know, one's obviously ranked a bit higher, but Nishikori is, and he's had more experience at this level, but they're very similar. But at the moment, Marinko thinks that his opposition's got him covered slightly. Now he's trying to do a bit too much, and the errors are coming.
I
never like seeing Marinko start to talk to himself either. Not a good sign.
And here's the great footwork of Nishikori. You'll just see whenever he's getting to the ball, there's a slight adjustment. He's so well balanced. See here, this couple of little steps, then bang, straight into the ball. Perfectly timed footwork.
Well done.
Again, he went with the tactic, though. You see that straight through the centre, deep off the return. That's where he's drawn the errors.
Well, he leaves the court open. That's the mistake he makes. When you run around the backhand on that second court and put yourself right out beyond the tram line, the court's open if you don't put the ball away. So, but he is trying to attack the second serve, and that's good from his perspective.
Advantage, Matosevic.
Okay. Hands on, Fitzy. He's down a break. Nishikori leads 2-1 in the second.
Nishikori leads 2 games to 1. Time. Love 15.
Thanks, Basil. Key moments still from Matosevic. A good effort to be able to hang on to the last game, but he is down a set and a break.
$15.
During that changeover again, Fitzy, Kei Nishikori had the trainer out, really loosening up the right elbow, and that's the elbow that he had some surgery on and kept him out for an extended period of time in 2009. He burst on and won his first tour event in 2008 as a teenager. That was in Delray Beach, and I guess some of it's probably precaution to make sure he keeps it loose, and he'd always be aware of that. Doesn't seem to be hindering his performance tonight.
$40-30.
It's been putting the ice on the back of the neck at the change of ends too, so a bit of a shock to the system to come into the southern hemisphere. There it is. And even though it's not hot by Queensland standards today, it's still warm for him out there, and there's a lot of profuse sweating going on.
New balls, please.
Hold serve for 3-1.
Nishikori leads 3-1.
Certainly going through some rackets throughout this match.
Well, at the change of when the balls get changed, players, most of the players these days, I think, change their restring.
I often wonder, whether they're like sheep, some of them, because that was started, in our generation or your generation with Ivan Lendl. He used to do that. When I play, I never did. I preferred to stick with the frame that was working, and I was happy with it and comfortable with the strings. Perhaps it's changed. With the newer synthetic strings, they can drop tension pretty quickly, but I think it's just
well, that's the thought process.
It's a bit of a treat, isn't it, to be able to change racket every 9 games?
Oh, I was too cheap. Didn't want to pay for all of those restrings, Todd. Come on. But you're right. I think it's a mindset now that the tension drops off, and the new balls though do go faster through the air. So the concept is that they bring out a racket that's still is a little bit tighter than the one that they've just used, and the one that's lost a bit of tension. Oh, yeah, good get, wasn't it? So in other words, the tighter restring would have a little bit more control on the faster new ball. That's why they do it.
15.
looks... does he look a tiny bit stressed, Nishikori, or not? I mean, he's...
Somewhat. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I wonder how the arm actually is.
Wrist taped as well underneath that sweatband.
Gee, that's a big, heavy, flat backhand there.
I don't necessarily think it's the arm.
30.
See, I think it's first match back in the season, and it's pretty humid. It's not as hot. You've talked about that, but it is humid. And there is that level of difference between practice and match play. The intensity goes up another 20%, I would think, from memory.
You need a long memory.
Not you need longer.
40-15.
He'll get his chance here, Marinko, though. If he can mentally stay with this here, there will be at least one chance that will present itself, you'd think. And maybe more to break back and stay alive here. Clever tennis. He's not just a baseliner as Kei Nishikori.
40-13.
Terrific forehand to get the upper hand, and then he uses a beautiful slice with depth and a bit of athleticism and racket control. Good to watch.
Good hold, but
Kei
Nishikori still
Matosevic.
ahead. A set and a break, 3-2 in the second.
Nishikori leads 3-2.
Yeah, can you make another one? The Legion. Yeah. And drink this in the back.
Time.
Another top.
Welcome back to the Brisbane International, Australia's #1. Marinko Matosevic in trouble in the opening round here in Brisbane.
Love 15.
Long match, Fitzy, for a set and under a set and a half, an hour and a half out on court.
Yeah, this has been close. There's been very little difference, really. Just a few more unforced errors, I think, for Marinko that has determined this score difference. But I think the camera was on him there after the first point, and there was some positive body language there, and he needs to maintain that because he's not out of this. And you get the feeling that Nishikori is feeling the heat a little bit when you look at him putting ice on the back of his neck. Too short there, though.
Yeah, you just don't want Nishikori
30-15.
directing traffic with his forehand. If he can move through the court at his own want, as he can here. He's going to make it really tough for you. You've got to have him pushing across the baseline.
40-15.
Yeah, there's the free point again for Marinko. And there's the negative body language as well.
Nishikori leads 4-2. Love 15.
Courtside, Josh Eagle, the Davis Cup coach. There's one thing I think that most players on tour know. Marinko hangs in pretty well. He does fight through.
Yeah, look, he's got a great record over best of 3 set matches, and that showed in 2012. But I think what's happened out here, guys, is he's actually just tried to overplay. From 5-all in the first set, he's just tried to do too much, and that's not his game. I prefer to see him just refuse to miss and make Nishikori come up with the winners and try and back himself physically. But out here, Nishikori, he's running so many balls down, and he's forcing Marinko to overplay.
You're courtside. You're a bit closer than we are from the commentary position. Is Nishikori feeling a little bit of the heat here?
Absolutely. I think there's no question he's struggling a little bit physically, and Marinko, he is aware of it, but again, he's just got to try and find a way to stay with him here, and hopefully he gets a chance. But there's no doubt Nishikori is hurting physically.
Oh, one of the better points we've seen, and that will please Josh Eagle, sitting on the side of the court.
Oh, look, absolutely, they're the sort of points. I mean, you've just got to make Nishikori play good point after good point, and you can see Nishikori at the back of the court here. Well, anyway, I can courtside, going for the towel, taking plenty of time, and this has got to give Marinko plenty of confidence.
Well, you've got to be careful. There could be a time violation coming, because there's a new time violation system in place by the ATP this season. He's got to be ready to play at the service speed.
Josh, I know he fights well over 3 sets, but there is a bit of negative body language here. Do you think he knows that does he sense Nishikori might be physically struggling, and if he doesn't, you know, he's missing something, isn't he?
Well, it's probably not his strength, his court awareness, but it's something he's got a hell of a lot better at over the last 12 months. So you know, it's a must-win game here. He has to hold on and force Nishikori to feel a bit of pressure at this stage of the game. He can't just roll over, lose serve here, and then it's a double break for Nishikori. So important couple of points coming up here, and that serve will absolutely help his chances, that's for sure.
I think you should take some credit for that serve, I'd say.
Well, look, he's worked hard. People probably, you know, who don't know Marinko don't realise that he is always out hitting buckets of serves, hitting plenty of... well, it's actually out, so
Gee.
I won't take credit of that one, Fitzy.
big point. Good.
Well, thanks, Josh. We'll let you focus on here, and if we hope we get a chance to come back to you early in the third, if Marinko can get himself back in this match.
He's a good-looking rooster, isn't he, Josh? Huh?
He's put the microphone away.
Oh, gee, I hope he heard that.
Oops.
But you know, Marinko is very lucky to have a group of people around him, and Josh is at the forefront of that now. And he's the type of, I think he's the type of mentality that really needs direction. And he's happy to listen, and he's happy to incorporate advice, even if it's constructive criticism. He's pretty good at that. We've mentioned that earlier, but I think he's the type of personality that needs constant direction, and he's fortunate to have it at the moment. So well done to that team. So he's not far away from winning this, Marinko. You know, and that's what a great competitor can sense, I think. You know, you might be down, you're down a set and a break, but I tell you what, even when you're down match points, sometimes you just don't know how close you are to winning. And there's a bit of negative body language there from Nishikori. Close this game out and really apply some pressure when you're returning serve.
Use.
Australia's Olivia Rogalska mid-match on the outside court here. Dropped the first set. Level at 3-all through the second.
Well, you heard the too good, and you know, Nishikori is desperate to finish this in 2 sets, you would imagine. Great accuracy there from the forehand. Oh, too good.
Kei Nishikori.
Well, it's going to be tough to get back from there. It's a double break to Kei Nishikori. He leads set and 5-2.
5 games to 2. Time. Love 15.
Kei Nishikori serving for a place in the second round of the Brisbane International. He's up against Marinko Matosevic of Australia.
The
scoreline now not really reflective of how close this match has been.
30-15.
Yeah, the difference has just been those few errors, hasn't it? And tightening up maybe some of those errors when the pressure's on is the main issue, really. He's not far away, Marinko. Keep in mind, Kei Nishikori is ranked 19 in the world. He's a serious player, defending a quarterfinal at the Australian Open in a couple of weeks' time.
(40-15).
And with that backhand return error, he's got a couple of match points. And there it is. Kei Nishikori takes out Marinko Matosevic in straight sets. 7-5, 6-2.